All right, it looks like we are live. Welcome everybody to our third and final Facebook panel for Profit First and Pure Bookkeeping, where we get to speak to a number of different people. And I'm really excited to have three people join us today, Katrina. How about we go around and introduce ourselves, tell us a little bit about your business and what you do. Martin, would you like to go first?
Yes, my business is Teamrace Accounting Support. It's in Thornside, which is a bayside suburb of Brisbane. I began it in 1996. I first employed a bookkeeper in 2001 and began building my business about 2007. By 2009-10, I had 9 or 10 people, and I'd spent about $50,000 worth of time developing systems, and I was less than halfway there. And along came Pure Bookkeeping. And it was bookkeeping in a box, and I just thought, for a small amount of money, this is going to save me so much time and money. And so I was one of the first licensees of Pure Bookkeeping in 2010 and remains so to this day.
Wow, that's a significant amount of time, Martin. That's awesome.
So now, in addition, I discovered Profit First through a client of mine. They were talking about it, and I thought, what's this? I'd heard of it somewhere before. And so about 2 years ago, I got the book and thought, why didn't I find this 30 years ago? It is so good, and it's been wonderful for me and my business. So,
awesome. Love that. Thanks so much, Martin. Nadia, would you like to tell us a little bit about you?
Okay, yes, I'm Nadia from NV Business Solutions. My practice is in Kew, Victoria, Melbourne, Victoria. I've been in business since 2011. I serve many different business sizes and industries. In 2014, I joined Pure Bookkeeping. It was more for I attended one of the roadshows that Deb was doing, and I just went, yeah, I need this. Just put systems in place just to see if that's what I wanted, to grow and expand. So I did that in 2014. Well, then obviously I did want to grow and expand, and so that's happened and put systems all in place. And 2019, I engaged Katrina for mentoring and realised that I just can't do it all on my own, and put on more staff, and it's just grown from there. And at the end of 2019, I knew I wanted to do more advisory. So I read Profit First and fell in love with it and thought I have to do this. So I did a bit of research and found Laura on the internet, which wasn't too hard, and had a meeting with Laura and went, yes, this is exactly what I need. So from 2020, January 2020, I joined Profit First and working really hard at that. So it's been fantastic between Pure Bookkeeping and Profit First. It works really well for me. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much for that insight, Nadia. What about you, April? Who are you?
So I've got a bookkeeping practice. I'm working out of my home in Western Sydney. So all my clients are remote. I've been in business since 2018 whilst I was working full time. I started this, at night and on the weekends until ultimately, I was busting to leave employment and come and do this for myself. And so I actually found Pure Bookkeeping while I was still in employment, and because I was struggling with systems in my role there, doing the bookkeeping, managing all of the accounts and developing a team. So I needed systems to be able to do that, and I actually took from Pure Bookkeeping and implemented things there, and things grew from there. And ultimately, I left the employment, started doing my own business, and I'm at that stage where I'm at capacity and starting to build my own teams now. So that's the intersection where I'm at right now is building some teams, and Pure Bookkeeping is it's everything. When I'm making decisions and implementing something, that is the place that I go, the community, the resources. And the resources probably is what led me to Profit First. Back in 2019, I came across that in chats in different communities, bookkeeping communities. And yeah, when I read that, that was like, it was, wow, yeah, I have to do this. And, you know, I actually remember being at the roadshow with Pure Bookkeeping after Debbie and, you know, had done the presentation and everything. And she's, you know, come to me with bits and pieces and like, what do you think? And I'm like, I have to do this.
Well, there's definitely a theme here, that's for sure. And hi, Sam, how are you doing? We're just catching up and hearing from everyone as to who they are, what their business is, and sort of where you're placed. So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, that would be awesome.
First of all, sorry I'm late. Daylight savings did me a little bit. I had a client appointment booked in. I'm like, yeah, I'll be finished by 11, go home, I'll be done by 12. And then it's like reschedule and I've got, oh, damn it. So anyway, I'm here. So I run Small Biz HQ and I've been doing it for about 5 years now. When I was pregnant with my youngest baby, and I came across Pure Bookkeeping maybe about 2 years in, where on a bookkeeper support group, and I loved the idea because I was just starting to get to capacity and really just needed the systems, like just the checklist and everything. And well, 5 years or so, 3 years later of using Pure Bookkeeping, and honestly, I would not look back. Yeah, so I've having those systems in there and being able to go, there's a checklist, I know exactly what reports I need to do. I'm pretty confident that all my BASs are done and everything has been checked and double checked before everything's published. And now with having staff on and being able to show them the reports that we do and the checklist, yeah, it is amazing. So it has been really good. And then how I came into Profit First. Well, Laura, you and I have spoken a few times.
We sure have.
Still, I read Mike's book. Years and years ago, and I just loved the whole philosophy. And I had started implementing bits of it into the business when it was just me, and then didn't really work with it. And then once we spoke, and I've signed up to join the whole Profit First professionals, then I really, step one is implemented in your own business. So I've been doing that for 2 years now and been able to pay myself a wage for those 2 years. So that all by itself is just absolutely amazing. And the rest of it is, it's so simple. It's so, the psychology of it is just easy. You look at you're looking at your bank account. What have I got in there? Oh, I don't have enough. Well, I can't have that then. Stop. Don't go into Officeworks or Smiggle. Whichever new stationery shop So, yes, that's basically me in a nutshell. So I'm up to 4 staff now, and we are still growing and using Pure Bookkeeping to move me out of the business side of, so I can focus more on the Profit First professional side of it. So that's my next, hopefully by January, I'm going to really start pushing that Profit First. I'm excited.
That's really exciting, and there certainly is a theme across all of those on today around their systems, getting their systems in place so that they can actually change the role that they have within the business and move over to some high-end work. So I'd be curious to know how that role has changed for you, and how you've managed to change that role of what you're doing in your business. And Martin, perhaps if you'd like to start with you, the role, the changes in your role over that time, over the journey, and what impact has that made on your business?
My role hasn't changed greatly. I have a problem in that my charge-out rate is a lot more than the charge-out rate of the other members of my team. And so, prior to developing a team, I was personally billing about 1,400 hours a year. And as my team came on board, that reduced to about 900 hours a year. And then, of course, my team is doing the rest. The drop in income from me reducing from 1,400 hours to 900 hours wasn't, or was only marginally offset by the income that my team was getting, because the differential in price is too much. So for me, building my business has been a struggle. I've never got past that hurdle. If I personally charged less, it wouldn't have hurt so much to come off the tools and spend the time to build the team. So my role hasn't changed a lot. I've also found that I've launched the careers of lots of people. They've come and they've worked with me for a while and said, Martin, it's been wonderful working with you. Now I'm off. I'm ready to start my own business. The people in our industry who are really good, they want to do that. And there are a few people who've stayed with me. Finding people who are really good and who don't have the entrepreneurial spark is challenging, but they do exist. And they're the people that you need to build a business with. So no, my role is similar.
Is it that your work has changed? The work that you are doing personally, if you're doing a higher end rate, more advisory stuff, you have the opportunity to do that if you've got a team in place to do the bookkeeping?
Okay. I stopped doing the bookkeeping about 2001. And so I've always engaged people to do the bookkeeping so that I can do the higher value work. My struggle is getting out of the higher value accounts check and BAS and getting into the more interesting profit first work. And that's where I am at the moment. But I've been doing this for about 25 years and I'm ready to move away from the bookkeeping and BAS altogether. And so I'm in discussions with people about selling my bookkeeping and BAS business in stages to exit from that and release my time to move into profit first properly.
Yeah, nice. And the setting up of your business to be able to do that with, the systems that you've got in place. You feel as if you've, been able to build those systems to be able to hand that section of your business over? Because it's all working nicely?
I think our systems are pretty good. Some of the people that I've been speaking to have their own systems and they would use their systems rather than mine. But it's comforting for them to know that I do have everything documented, we've actually got online checklists for everything.
Yeah, awesome. I think that's important to build the systems up so that you can, sell it or do what you like with it at that point. Thank you. Thanks, Martin. Nadia, did you want to talk to the role change in your business? Because previously you had no staff, you were doing everything. To be able to then identify that you did want to move over to advisory, what systems did you need to put in place to be able to secure that, and then your role change during that?
Okay, so originally I had to work out that it's okay to pass, work on to staff. The clients will be okay with that. They, they won't get upset. They won't run away. They're happy with that. So I had to get my head around that first. Then when I decided to start employing and hand over the work, our systems were really important. So we started off with paper manuals, and obviously as we went along, we've got now electronic systems with checklists and everything else, as well as a backup manual just in case. Then I had to find the right staff, which I did, and it took a while. It is difficult to find the right staff, but I feel like I'm there now. And by doing that, I've been able to sort of let go and focus more on the profit first side of things and the advisory, and which is what I love. I actually really, really enjoy that rather than the technician position. I still do the high end bookkeeping reviews and BAS checks and the compliance, but I don't mind that. I actually enjoy it. Sorry, what was the next question? I'm sorry.
The role that you are, role now that you're, moved over from being that technician and, what you're doing now.
So now my role is basically more of a CEO role, with the advisory. So that's where I'm transitioning to. I'm still on my going up that ladder, so I will get there. But at the moment, probably halfway up that ladder to between CEO and tech. Well, I don't do any data entry, so the technician side's gone. But still, there's a few little things happening still that need me. Yeah. And that's
awesome. Good. Thank you. And April, for you, how has your role changed in your business, and what's the systems allowed you to move over to?
Well, I'm still in that stage where I'm building it all, and I am going quite fast because I'm fairly late comer to business in terms of career span, but I'm going to move pretty fast and have been. I do love that I do with some clients, I am just consulting, and I love that. That is such great work in so many ways. It doesn't feel like work. But I still do a lot of bookkeeping, but very soon that will be moving on to team members because I've got these systems and starting to implement them and train others in them, and so that I can do more of the consulting end work, analyst type work, with the clients. They're working on their KPIs and letting them find their ideas by bouncing off me is something that I really love.
Yeah, awesome. It seems to be another common theme in having your systems there to be able to move over to the advisory stuff and change the role that you're doing and the chargeable hours as well.
It kind of slows life down a bit too, like to actually get on a call with a client and be completely focused on them and not actually have to be in the doing, be doing something. You're just listening to them.
Yeah.
And exploring things.
What impact has that had on your business and your relationship with your clients?
Oh, I think, there's a lot of trust and reliance there from the client. They look forward to their meetings, which is good because you kind of worry about that. They must, think, oh, are they going to come? They're still going to come next week. But of course, they're on the edge of their seat and can't wait for it.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks. Sam, would you like to talk to the role change that you've had over your years? Because I know that you've had a struggle in doing a lot of the work, like being bogged down as the technician, realising that it's okay to hand over, setting up the systems. What's your journey?
Well, and what Nadia said before really resonated with me, which was, you have to get your head around the fact that you don't have to do the work. I have, and I'm still really bad at it, and but it is definitely a work in progress, and I am I've got a really good team. Like the staffing is always something you've got to work on, and like if I look back, I've done it. I think Debbie Roberts had said to me one day, it's like I've got a pot of spaghetti and I'm just throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks. And that was probably quite accurate of what I did. So definitely implementing those systems. And I think it really, really hit home recently because the last staff member I've just put on is recent and someone I've worked with previously, like about 10 years ago. We've both done bookkeeping together, so I implicitly trust her anyway. But when we're going through and I was showing her, handing over a client and saying, these are the reports we do, she's like, oh, oh my God, you just go deep. And I'm like, yeah, but by the time you get to the activity statement side of it, it's pretty much tick and flick because we've done everything first. So, and I don't think I'd realised how far I'd come until I got that message. And I think now that I have done that and I know that what we're doing, because it's is really important, what we're doing is really strong, then I feel like I probably can let go a bit because the systems are there to make sure that we can, that everything is being checked, everything is being done properly. And And that's why this quarter is really about me actually making the conscious and deliberate decision to hand over all clients. And we had our first staff meeting back from school holidays yesterday, and I said, my intention is by Christmas, I don't work. When I come into the office, I'm basically filing my nails and drinking coffee. So that's how I put it. But then the idea then is that my time is freed up supporting and mentoring them, like Martin said before, giving people some really great training so that they can, if they choose to leave and they go out, I don't think any of my ladies at this stage will, but I'm sure it's inevitable that will happen at some stage. But my theory now is if I'm throwing good bookkeepers out into the world, there's one less, dodgy bookkeeper doing things. And the fact that I'm going to be moving that role up into getting the compliance work sort of off my chair and then focusing on profit first, because like April said, that just sitting with clients and getting that, just speaking with them, what are you going through, how can we help you with that advisory stuff, that's where it really starts lighting your fire. That's where you really come into it, I think.
Awesome. I love that. And thank you so much for sharing that, Sam. One of the biggest things that I've heard in terms of theme is how powerful Profit First has been in either how you work with your clients or yourself personally. For those of you that may be watching, to become a Profit First professional, the first step is to actually implement it in your own business. And so what I would love to hear from each of you is like, what has this looked like for you? What have you been able to achieve by implementing this system in your own business? We're talking about systems, so we may as well also look at the Profit First system. Nadia, did you want to jump in there first?
Okay, for me, it's been a huge thing. Not that I ever fell behind with taxes, but just having the money there before the tax bill came in is fantastic. It's just, I don't mind getting my taxes done early in the financial year, at the end of the financial year, because it's the money sitting there and waiting. That was one of the things. The other thing was just the quarterly profit distribution. Love it, because I have to think about what I want to do with it, and it's my money. Just things like that. I was paying myself, so that didn't change. The only thing that did change, I'm paying myself more than I would have, because I would have always thrown it back into the business or, found something else to spend on. So another shiny object that we didn't need in the business. So I'm more mindful with that. I am debt-free. So there's no credit cards when I say debt-free. It's just changed a lot within my business. Just the bill comes in, the money's waiting, basically. So, and there's always surplus, which is fantastic. So I'm actually at the point now where I need to review and adjust, because every account's got surplus in it. So there's obviously more money for me there that I can take as a wage or whatever I choose to do. So, awesome. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question specifically about your implementation? You say that you have staff and team. Do you have a separate Profit First account for wages, or is that part of your operating expenses?
No, I have a separate wage. It holds the super, the wages, the PAYG, anything to do with staff employment. Yes.
And how did that change impact things for your business?
Well, it just makes life easier, because the money's there and I don't have to worry. And again, each time I want to put a new staff member on, I up that amount to what I would be willing to pay the next staff member. And so when I start, there might be, depends how long it takes me to find someone, the money will be there for their first month or 2 months of payroll. So it does. It's in that respect, it works perfectly.
And I think that's a huge thing for business owners anyway, is that we always get the question, when can I hire the next staff member? Can I afford to hire the next staff member? So the fact that you've shared, Nadia, that you have a month or two, depending on how long it takes to hire someone sitting there waiting to pay their wage. What a relief that must be.
It is.
Awesome.
No, it is. And you don't have to think about it. You don't have to, it's just happening. So whenever I make a decision, I just automatically, when in doubt, set up an account. So yeah, so anything I, think I need, that I may need in the future, I'll set up an account and start putting funds towards it. And when I need it, it's there. So that works perfectly for the way I run my business and my personal life.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. You've shared some really awesome parts of Profit First. April, what about you? How has your implementation gone?
For me, Profit First it's totally about peace of mind and even reality check as well, which is very important. So yeah, I can be a very, what's the word, addictive sort of personality, like, the shiny objects and wanting all of those things. This stops me in my tracks and keeps me out of trouble. That's probably the biggest thing for me. It's too easy to jump into things and commit to financial things. So yeah, there's the reality check that, if it's in the bank account, then it's potentially going to happen. If it's not there, definitely not. It's a plan to work on.
Love that. And that's it, is that a lot of people associate Profit First as this static bank account that just sits there, but it's not. It is a plan. It enables you to look at it and go, well, what is the next thing I'm working on, as Nadia shared as well? Or is this thing that I'm investing in, can I afford it now, or can I afford it in 3 months' time? Is this something that is going to make the change? What impact is this going to have? It really helps you create that plan. So I love the fact that you shared that, April. That's awesome. Martin, what about you?
The biggest single thing about Profit First for me is that it's just removed a lot of the financial stress of running a business. You just know that the money is always there for your BAS, for your taxes, for your overheads. The money's just always there. And when I began implementing Profit First, prior to that, I'd say, money-wise, I was bumping along because we work so hard. We kind of feel, well, we ought to reward ourselves for how hard we're working. And we may not necessarily have the money to take those rewards. And Profit First has put the financial discipline in place. But for example, the BAS money is always there. You just don't have to think about it. It just happens. And the money for everything else is there. Or as April said, there's that new course that you want to do, but the money's not there for it because it's not part of your budget yet. And so you begin spending your money more carefully so that it's all working for your business and none of it's being frittered away like money falling out of a colander, like water falling out of a colander. You've plugged all the leaks.
Yeah, it's so true. And I think we're very good as human beings if we have one pot with all the money to go, oh, I can do that. I'll bring money in to be able to fund that again. And it's a really nice way of being in denial quite comfortably while being stressed at the same time too. So I love the visual of the water through the colander, Martin. Thank you so much for sharing. And what about you, Sam? So a lot's changed in your business. How has your Profit First implementation gone?
It's really good. I'm like Nadia. I actually separate out wages and stuff now. So I've done my wages as a percentage because I kind of went, I only want my salary, like the employee wages, to be up to this certain point in my business. So that's how I did it and keep an eye on it. And like I said, it's paying myself. The quarterly profit distribution is good. Still working on debt reduction, so I'm getting there. But it is really great in that it simplifies everything for me. I just got my percentages, I do the transfers, and then I look at the accounts and go, okay, that's where we're at today. Okay, all right, I've got to pull back, or yeah, no, I'm not going into schmiggle, or I'm not buying the new shiny thing because right now it's not appropriate, but soon it might be. So yeah, definitely just that simplification of things, because it's just one less thing to worry about. It's not a budget on a spreadsheet. It's not something, it's just doing the transfers and then looking at an account balance. So that part of it has been really, really good.
That's awesome. I'm curious to know, and for those bookkeepers that haven't quite, got their business set up or developed enough for them to be able to move off the tools and get into the advisory and work into this space, what's the one thing that's been probably the most important thing for you when you are systemizing your business or setting your business up to be able to stop being the technician? So, Nadia, what would you recommend to bookkeepers that are wanting to progress down the journey that you've done? What was, one of the major things that you did in setting up your systems?
Yeah, so firstly, it was setting up the systems and testing them, because I found that when I took on my first staff member, I thought I had all the systems in place, and you follow everything, but there's always a little bit more in your head that you need to get out. So basically, you really need to test your systems and put yourself in that position of if I was an employee, how would this be? How would this work? So that's one thing that I wish I had done sooner. But I found that getting myself, I think mixing it up too. So even right from the beginning, if mixing it up with bookkeeping and advisory clients, not just finding the bookkeeping clients, because I know they're the easier ones to find, but mixing it up and finding advisory and bookkeeping. So then you can easily grow both sides of the business. I think that's the one thing that I wish I had done sooner than I did.
Yeah, okay. And knowing that you're putting staff on and having a method to test those staff.
Correct.
And to document your systems and test those systems to make sure that it's foolproof, that anybody could pick it up and work their way through the work that's being done based on the systems. And, we also suggest making little Loom videos so that staff can take it over quite easily of, what client-specific instructions and things like that. So starting to build on that stuff if you're working by yourself or working with a small team, to start working on those foundations, documenting your systems, Looming, having a system to be able to skills test.
The videos are fantastic. I've got heaps of videos for clients, especially like you said, the unique little things that a client needs. It's easier to video it than to try and explain it or, write the systems down. So it's, the only thing that I found, and I've only recently found this out, is that you have to keep reviewing them because software changes and things move around. And I had one staff member saying, but I can't find it. So I said, okay, something's changed. So they did an update, moved things around, and it threw the whole, and renamed it as well. So, and we had a new video. So that's the other thing, is checking on those systems as well, periodically. Yeah,
good, awesome, thank you. April, what's the one thing that you would think about in setting your business up to be able to move over to advisory? What do you feel?
What's coming up is trusting the process in the systems. And persevere.
Yeah.
It's not the easiest thing to do. It can be hard and frustrating. But I think having faith and trusting the process.
Yeah. Yeah. I always thought back to, this is not rocket science. This can't be that hard. If you put a process in place for somebody to follow that makes sense, and you've tested it, and you're testing the people coming into your business, your employees or the staff members working, if they're doing it the right way, you're telling them the right way to do it, and then, you can guarantee the outcome of that work so that you can continue to move on and do your advisory and your working on your business and developing and finding your ideal clients that want both advisory and compliance work. So it's trusting the process. Like, it's it's a big thing for us bookkeepers to, trust other people to do the work as well. So, yeah, I love that comment. Thank you. Awesome. Martin, what would you say would be, one of the things for you to be able to have set up your advisory work and, knowing that you've been off the books for a long time, but you've obviously gone through a process to now be able to really utilise Profit First?
Okay, for me, really, it's sliding myself out of working in my business because, I'm still very busy doing the accounts, checks and BAS. And yes, I've got those systems well documented and the processes are all there. But really, it's time for me to move on, and it would be quite feasible to take in a partner. So I'm putting my hand up and saying, hey, if anyone's interested in partnering, please talk to me. But otherwise, my intention is to sell my business in stages so that I personally move on and get away from those sorts of deadlines and stresses and move into my new life. One of the things that we didn't say about pure bookkeeping is one of the very best things that I've experienced with it is the HR recruitment part. With the pure bookkeeping skills tests, I've probably put about 25 people through those. And I just think it's the most outstanding way to discover people's skill and aptitude and speed levels. That's been really, really helpful for me over the years.
Yeah, it's really important because you can waste a lot of time and money in putting the wrong person on. So even identifying whether they're not skilled in a certain area, to be able to train them up in that area, but to know that from the get-go once you put them on. Great. Thanks, Martin. Sam, what was your one thing that for you to be able to move over to advisory?
Mine would be confidence. The personal blockage would be confidence in my own abilities to do it. And I think that comes with networking and coaching and realizing that most of the time we're actually doing the advisory work as part of our bookkeeping anyway. Like a lot of our staff, we're already doing it. We just haven't called it that because it's just part of our process. Like it's one of those processes I've always owned. Like, it's like that's just part of what I do. And it's taken sort of being in groups where it's like, no, that's not what everybody does. So I have always been doing it. So one is the confidence, and then two, to actually move into that is to trust those systems. And like I said, I've been using pure bookkeeping for I think it's over 3 years now, and it took me putting on the latest staff member who has had all that, had 15, 20 years of experience in bookkeeping to go, wow, this is good. Like I can see all the sense that you're checking everything. It's really, really great. So yeah, mine is confidence and the trusting and testing of your systems, because systems are always going to be, they always need to be revised, but putting them in place, checking that it's foolproof, and then just coming back.
I love that. I'd also love to just share my experience, because I'm now CEO of Profit First Australia and New Zealand, but I've had to do the journey within my own business too. And I think the biggest thing that I've experienced, but also seen, is that we wait too long for something to be perfect. Do you know what I mean? That yes, the systems processes are so important, but it's really easy to get stuck in the doing of that. Like sometimes having a system and a process and handing it over to a staff member or someone else to refine and review and, really take it on, we still tend to hold on to the responsibility of everything. So therefore, the feeling of moving then into advisory is forever out of reach, or I'll just keep doing this until I get to this point, then I'll be able to do that. And whilst I had that mindset, I felt like my journey was like this snail pace. Whereas when I'm like, you know what, done is good enough. And then, I have the people in my business and that sort of stuff that can take this on, make it better, be in their zone of genius around these things. And I made the decision that it has to happen. I have to get into advisory. I have to offer this. This is something that I really want to do. And so for me, it was about, well, where is your actual motivation? Because a lot of people are very comfortable in the discomfort of everything. And so do you really want to move into advisory, or do you just want to refine your current business? And both are fine. Both are great. And it's often not making that decision that is that pull and push and that sort of thing, and getting stuck in the doing of getting to the point to be that advisor. And so I just want to kind of put that out there as well, because I guess was my biggest frustration, but it's also my biggest frustration in what I see. So there is no perfect. I still haven't found it. Have any of you? I'd love to see like a nod or if you have. I haven't. But yeah, so I'd love that everyone has the systems in place and everyone's at a different journey, like spot in their journey. And the thing is, there is no destination. We can change what it is that we want out of things. And I think it is really being honest with yourself about what you're wanting to achieve. And I guess this is a perfect time to say thank you all so much for your insight and for giving us your time today. And I know that Katrina is wanting to share a couple of things that are coming up for Pure Bookkeeping. And I know that October's quite busy for Pure Bookkeeping, and then we've got some stuff in November. So I'll hand over to you, Katrina.
Yeah, thanks, Laura. Yeah, so keeping in the theme with this actually advisory space and taking your business to the next level. So we, Pure Bookkeeping are hosting a 2-day workshop intensive, October the 19th and 20th for 2 half days. And we're talking exactly about this, how to set up your business to be able to go into the advisory space. And we've got some partners with us teaching you how to use some of their applications to be able to move into advisory, and also just identifying what that client relationship is that you have with your clients, moving away from being just a compliance to a full service, providing that advisory and becoming a partner within their business. So lots of good stuff within those 2 days, and a lot of practical exercises that we're going to be doing. So join us on those days in October. I'll put the link into these chats.
Beautiful. And in November, we have a full day event on the 10th of November that's open to the public. And it is about for business owners that, again, are, already working in the advisory space and are wanting to consider profit first. And the topics that we'll be working on that day is how to confidently transform your business. So as Sam mentioned, her biggest hurdle was confidence. And so we are doing a workshop on mindset, confidence, goals, action taking, so that you can decide what your business is going to look like. We also have the topic outsourcing to step into your zone of genius, and then to hear from a couple of other profit first professionals on their journey. As well as, another topic around increasing your prices without upsetting your clients, which is a really big thing that a lot of people face when they are looking to transition. So that'll also be in the comments. I highly recommend that you attend both, because, even if it's not right now that you think you can do it, equipping yourself with the knowledge and the systems and the support. And I think that's the biggest tip that I'd like to leave everyone is surround yourself with people that are doing or looking to achieve similar things, because I know that the Pure Bookkeeping support group is amazing, as is the Profit First, and I think that is the biggest step. So please join us, and thank you again, everyone, for your time today. It has been brilliant. So thank you all. Have a great day.
Lovely to hear your stories.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.
See ya.